All right, we're gonna get to the last game of the day, which is going to be Rep City UTB. That's the last game of the day because the LES primetime game was canceled because of the weather. It was thunderstorming and stuff, and we got through this game, but the owner of the league didn't want to risk it, even though took chances on this game.
Yeah.
And we played it. Thank God it went well. In the future that will not happen. The game will be called immediately. But since the game has started, the guys want to play it. It
It
went
was already pretty much the second half. So
right.
yeah.
But in the future the game will be stopped immediately. But that's why this is the last game of the day. All right, so we got Untouchables Rep City. Now, Untouchables, they come in with last year, they was the number 2 offense in the league, led by their first round draft pick, Corey, who was a league MVP runner up. They got a second round pick in BG, and their third round pick was Slasher, who they traded for. All that being said, all that firepower, Buck, Hove, Juju, Sherm, Avero, Adi was coaching. With all that firepower, this team went 2-5. I'm 3-5. They were a wild card team. Why were they a wild card team? Because they had the second worst defense in the league. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. And that defense cost Corey MVP votes because you can't be an MVP and your team's a wild card team. You can't be an MVP and you're 3-5. I'm 3-5, tied for the worst record in your division. So that cost Corey an MVP. This year, they made some, they got Sherm coming back. I think the guys are mentally on another level as they trying to get back because this may be their last time with Corey. Now the thing about that is Corey's injured. So now that trade that Alvaro does makes him look like a genius because he has Slasher. Tell me how different Slasher is than Corey, and do you feel that Slasher can carry the team until Corey gets back?
Um, I think he definitely can. They're two different types of quarterback as far as he's more of a runner. He can run better than Corey. Possibly a stronger arm, I think, but Corey's more of a quarterback. You know
You
what I'm
think
saying?
Slasher has a stronger arm than Corey? I think Corey has a strong arm.
Yeah. You're right. I might be thinking that he's more muscular than Corey, and that's probably why I'm thinking he took it throwing a longer ball. But yeah, I would say even though Slasher's been throwing for a while, but
Yeah,
Corey's
yeah,
more of a quarterback because
Yeah.
he can play. Slasher can play receiver and quarterback.
yeah. He could play.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I think he could play
So
more positions than
yeah,
Corey. I agree.
but can he hold it down for them for him while he's out? Of course. And I
What's your
don't think
thought,
they'll be
Ghost?
missing a beat.
Now, listen. Obviously, you said that Corey is a stronger arm quarterback than Slasher, but Slasher, when he's in a good rhythm, can be just as effective.
Yes,
He
he's a rhythm
definitely
quarterback.
Yes, and my
Mm-hmm.
thing with Slasher is he's very aggressive. He takes shots when he needs to. He's one person that'll take off when he needs to. He's more physical. So my thing with Slasher is he's more of a scarier quarterback to face when he's in a good momentum. When he is in rhythm, he's scary to play against. And one thing about him is he has energy. He has fire. He's a person that gets amped and gets his team hype. So he's a person that in a certain scenario can be more dangerous because he has more options that you could get from him himself. So I would say that it's hard to compare them, but at the end of the day, Slash is looking to take over this team as quarterback in this instance and help them lead to their first win of the season.
And the thing about that is when I coach SYS and I played IOD in the Elite Eight, we kind of stopped Adi in the beginning and kind of got Adi out of rhythm, which we know if we can't take his momentum, take his confidence ways, you could hurt him. But then Slasher came in and you was recording the game. You knew I was worried when Slasher got in the game. And Slasher brought his team back. We ended up beating him by extra point. At the end of the game, we stopped them as they went for 2 for the win. But I knew when I told you, when Slasher came in, we're in trouble. Because this guy is just the things that he can do and the way he finds a way to do it. He's a dangerous guy. And if there's one guy you want as a backup quarterback, it's Slasher. Now, the funny thing is, they're playing against Rep City, who is playing against the very quarterback we talked about, which is Adi, which was their coach last year. He was the first pick in the 3rd round that Rep City took. Now, Rep City come in. Last year they had a pretty good record, 5-3. The number 1 defense in the league. The problem with them was they had the 2nd worst offense in the league. Only Street Fam had a worse offense. And now they bring in a 2-time UFL champion, a former quarterback of the year. Definitely upgrade over time. And now this quarterback gives them exactly what they needed. What all we said last year, they're a quarterback away. And what they get in the 1st round, in the 3rd round, the number 1 pick, a quarterback. Y'all thoughts on Rep City adding this guy? They still got Cabby. Now, yes, we all going to say they don't have Todd. Todd was their 1st round pick. They deactivated him. But I think Shady can be considered like another A player. I think Rel, when Rel is motivated, can be another A player. I think Mitra motivated can be a high B A player. So they got talent all around. Macha's the reigning defensive player of the year. Butho signs over for this team. Butho, a UFL champion. So you added a lot of pieces to this team. But first, tell me about the acquisition of Adi, them drafted.
Definitely an upgrade. They upgraded their whole offense with that one move. You know what I'm saying? The consistency, how Adi's been playing the last few years as opposed to Tommy. Because remember what happened the last time he made an appearance before last season.
Right.
How it didn't go well.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got these added players like Shady. I've heard, it's funny because this is the first time I actually knew who he was on the field. I've heard the name, but never really saw him as a player. But that's a great addition. They definitely have a good team. And like you said, if certain people step up, they could be dangerous offensively.
Your final thoughts on that goes before we start the game.
First of all, I'm shocked that you didn't call him. What is his title?
He's a bad man. I was waiting for you to set that up. When you draft this guy, you got to know he's a bad man.
And it's funny
unless it's in the EHS championship.
Oh yeah, then I was just bad. But but listen, at the end of the day, listen, when you get a guy like Adi, it's funny because it seems like this Rep City team is doing exactly what the Raiders did last season, where they traded in or they had the best defense the prior season, and then they switched and had one of the best offenses, but then had one of the worst defenses. I think that may happen because they're focusing on the offense and improving the offense, but will it hurt their defense overall? That's something that we got to see, but it's good to see that they're trying to fix the issues that they had with the offense because that was their Achilles heel last season. Hopefully they can rectify that this season with the acquirements of Adi.
Okay. Rep City won't have their A player, their 1st round pick and Ty. He's been deactivated. They have Cabby at 2nd round. They have Adi, their 3rd round pick. The other side, Untouchables. Their 1st round draft pick, Corey, is not here. He's injured. We're going to talk about that at the end of the game. Their 2nd round pick, BG's here. Their 3rd round draft pick that they traded for Slash's here. Slasher gets to start. We're going to, and then that's another thing. Hopefully Ghost got it. Those two guys clapping and shaking each other's hand is amazing. They won a championship in UFL together. And now I believe this is the first time in UFL that they're going up against each other. That's what makes this game great.
They won two
That's
together,
what makes
so.
Huh?
They won 2 together. So, yeah.
Yeah, they won two championships together in UFL. And now this is their first time going against each other. Unbelievable. Let's jump into the game. Adi's going to get the ball back. With 3 passes to Shady for a nice game and the 1st down. We talked about Shady early in the game. Adi's finding him early. And now he knows he got this type of weapon. Teams better be careful. Second out, Adi with blocking from beat that throws his Shady in the gap for a decent game. One thing Doc can do is give you time. He takes that position seriously, and he's definitely going to make sure Adi's not touched. Third down, Adi with blocking for B-Dot, throws a Cabby in the back of the end zone. Cabby with the catch over radio in the end zone for the touchdown. That is whoa. That's whoa. That touchdown is a whoa. I gotta tell you, sorry radio, but early you got mossed. You got mossed, dog. It happens to the best of us. You got mossed. I'll say it right there. The key to this is not only Adi getting the ball, the Cabby, but it starts at the point of attack, B-Dot giving him time to get the ball, and that is touchdown. Right away, they score on their first drive.
Well, Jay, I'll tell you like this. I was recording in the back of the end zone. I didn't record the play because I became a fan. I was like this. That was, Cabby's it's a creative player. Like, you know the fun that Adi can have throwing to him?
Yeah, he just called him when you make a play at Madden and then just put all the stats
make
up,
him as big
and height and everything.
Word, you just put all his stats up. Yeah. That's Cabby.
Man.
That's Cabby. They're gonna go for the extra point. Cabby with the one-handed catch for the extra point. And we're gonna talk more about this extra point at the end of the game. 7-0, Rep City. That's how you score in the first drive. That's how you get it started early. Something they couldn't do last year. Let's see what Untouchables do to follow up.
Hold on, Jay. Again, I became a fan and missed the extra point.
Untouchables going to get the ball. They're going to start at the 10-yard line on the kick return, and it's going to be cursing on Gil. That's huge. Slasher gets the ball now. Remember, this is his start. On 4 rush, he throws deep to PJ, who has a step on Richie on the sideline. Caught for a big gain and the first down, getting to the 10-yard line. PJ, who's an underrated receiver. This kid can play. Gets past Richie, and Slasher goes downfield a la Corey. Remember, we say he's not a big, you say he can go downfield. He shows that early, and I think he did this on purpose and let him know, we don't need Corey. I'm here. I'm a 2-time champ. I'm a former offensive player of the year quarterback for that IOD team in the past. I can make the plays. He makes a play here. Second to go, Slasher finds Nick in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. Brandon gets a 2-point conversion, 8-7. Lou, they score right back on this Rep City, who was a #1 defense. They score right away on the first drive.
Well, that pass was a dime that he threw to PJ. You got to remember, PJ was a quarterback in high school and played receiver in college. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, he's an underrated player because a lot of dudes might consider him just a blocker. I mean, a giver, because that's the position he plays. But that was a great first drive on that defense.
On a defense that was not only #1, they were first in interceptions. Yeah. Last year, Rep City was first in interceptions, first in sacks, and #1 defense. And they did none. They did none against Slasher on that drive. All right, Rep City gets the ball back. Ali throws to Frankie in the gap for a decent gain. Second down, he's blitzed by Gil, who's blocked by D-Dot. Ali throws to Shady in the gap, picked off by BG, on giving the ball back to Untouchables. If you look here, he makes a mistake. He goes downfield with BG there. These are teammates. He knows how Adi throws. He knows where Adi likes to put the ball. So what he does, he's able to jump the route and get the interception Adi. I think Adi needs to look off more. Sometimes we see Adi falls in love with staring at the one side of the field. He does it here because he had Frankie open. BG gets him.
And he didn't even really jump the route, Jay, because of the fact that he was right. But now, if anything, he turned at the right time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's where, it was a bad throw.
It was a bad throw, but BG kind of knew where the ball was going.
Right.
That's why I said when you're familiar with your quarterback,
right.
You know where his tendencies is to put the ball. So for BG to make it look like the pass was to him, it's like I know where Adi was going. I read what he read. Now, like you said, had he pushed the ball further downfield, Shady's can get it. Yeah. But the question is, can Adi push it that far downfield? That means you have to home run it to make Shady go get it.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's raining, the weather's not great, it's hard to do that. And I think BG kind of had an idea of where the ball's going to go, and that's an interception. Slasher gets the ball back. With blocking from Kev, Slasher throws to Jesus in the gap for a nice gain. If they can keep Jesus healthy, he's a guy that they need coming out the backfield, giving this offense more weapons. Slasher with blocking by Kev, throws to Sherm open on the sideline. Sherm makes a catch through contact for a nice catch and the first down. Sherm is a number one guy on this offense. He's a Tyreek Hill. He can extend plays. He can run behind any defensive player in the league. But he has to be able to also catch through contact. And he's doing this right here. He goes up through contact and makes the catch, practically lands on his neck. That is a great catch by Sherm. They need Sherm to do that all this season. Slasher is blitzed and sacked by Puto on the next play. This is why they brought Puto in. The rich get richer. When you got Mach in the middle, now Puto, this is what they wanted Puto expected to have with Akon when UTF drafted Akon. It didn't work out. But now he has Mach, so he can blitz in and not worry about the middle being uncovered because Mach is there. Definitely great play right there. Puto getting a sack on his debut with Rep City. Third down, 4 rush. Slasher throws to Derek, cutting in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. 14-7. Untouchable score again. Now, you just got a sack. You're the number 1 defense in the league. You get back-to-back touchdowns up. You give 2 big plays on both drives. You can't do that and consider yourself a number 1 defense. These are plays that they didn't give up last year. They gave it up this year. Slasher's going downfield on them, and they score another touchdown.
Derek was a big weapon for Corey last season. This guy's talented, a very good receiver, and he was kind of missed towards the end of the season and in the playoffs. So to have him here and have Slasher able to connect with him, that is another weapon that Slasher could take advantage of. This is a good play by Slasher to get into the end zone yet again to take the lead 14-7. This is the rhythm that I was talking about earlier. This is the rhythm that I talked about with Slasher. Once he's in a rhythm, he is a quarterback that's hard to stop, especially when you have weapons. You have another receiver in Derek that he can get, that he can connect with. That is yet another touchdown. And this Rep City defense has to step up because if you don't, Slasher's gonna run up the score.
Ali gets the ball back. Third down after 2 short passes. Ali throws to Wesley in the gap for a decent game, picking up the first down. That's another weapon. Next play, Adi's blitzed by Izzy, blocked by D-Boy. Adi rolls left, throws to Shady in the gap, who runs for a nice gain, getting him to the 5-yard line. You can't tell me that Adi does not like throwing to Shady. He just got there, and he's finding this kid all over the field. And you can't tell me that D-Boy did not enjoy blocking Izzy on the blitz. That must have felt good. You know these guys had issues, their family, Izzy left Rep City, all the issues. You know D-Boy enjoyed blocking Izzy. And what's funny about that is, second down, Adi finds D-Boy in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. 14-13, Rep City chasing one. Lou, great drive by Adi. He threw an interception in the last drive. He scores on his next drive. Definitely great play by him.
Comes right back and does what veterans do. You know, comes back and throws a touchdown to the one person you do not want to have score against you. He's yelling into the camera, "Hi, Mom!" I'm like, oh my goodness. But yeah.
He said hi to Mom.
Yeah. But he was yelling at my camera. I was a little afraid. But anyway, you know, that was a great drive at the end of the day. And you know what? I totally forgot about, they have Wesley as well. They have a heck of an arsenal on their team. So let's see.
They just need a quarterback. They just need a quarterback.
There's a quarterback away, like we've been saying. Yeah. Untouchables can't score before the half. That's going to take us into the half, 14-13. Untouchables with the 1-point lead. Ghost, give me Untouchables. Luke, give me Rep City.
Listen, Untouchables come out swinging. From the first 2 drives that they get on the field, they're able to score. And that's led by Slasher. Getting into finding these receivers. Sherm playing big as he always does. You have Derek coming in, showing his talents on his team. You have Nick being a receiver that we already know he can be. So when you have these guys performing at the level that they're supposed to, you're going to find points. And that's exactly what they've been doing in this game. And Sasha is saying, Corey, who? Where's Corey? I'm the quarterback. That's literally what he's saying. And he was kind of talking some smack on the field, showing that confidence, that swagger that Slasher always shows, showing that, listen, at any given moment, he could take over the helm at quarterback and he could put points up for this team. And he's showing that off so far in this half here.
Give me Rep City, Lou.
Rep City offensively, they're looking good. The defense not too bad, but they have to step it up a bit. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing right there. Offensively, like I said, they're looking good.
All right, we're gonna jump into the second half. With Untouchables getting the ball. Second down, slashes, blitzed by Buto, scrambles and throws to Sherm in the gap, picked off by Rel, who runs it to the 3. Now, this is all set up by who? Buto. This is why they went out and got him. This guy can blitz and not have to worry about leaving the zone when you got these guys in the backfield helping you out. This was the #1 defense that went out and got another great player. The pressure caused Slasher to scramble, and Rel, a guy who I always say when he's motivated can be a top 5 player in this league, comes with Uncle Rel's, what they call him, comes away with a big interception. Way to start the second half, Lou. Got to give him his props for that.
That was a big interception because he basically jumped that route. Like you said, the pressure from Bulto made Shorty hurry that pass, and he just jumped right in front of Sherman and ran it to the 1?
Got to the 3-yard line.
To the 3? Okay.
All right, 3rd and goal. Adi finds Shady in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. Frankie gets the extra point. 20-14. Rep City takes the lead. Adi likes Shady. So now you got Shady, you got Cabby. Adi has weapons here. Wesley, this team, even D-Boy, Rel, he has weapons on this offense. Drunk, this is an offensive team. Yeah. If they can keep their defense to the same level it was last year, they could be a problem. Ghosts are able to score. Shady's going to be Adi's #1 guy.
I mean, they're already showing that they're not necessarily, well, this is only one game, but they're already showing that they're not the exact same defense as they were last year, giving up 2 straight touchdowns in a row. So, you know, yeah, this is a week 1 issue that they're going to have right now. But their offense, when I say their offense is firing at all cylinders, you have this dude, Adi, finding Shady, and that is the key that they did not have last season. Because we saw that Shady was a weapon that was underutilized by Tommy last season. And when you have all these other guys that's able to step up and get into the gaps and make plays, this team can be very dangerous, and we're already seeing that. Adi showing comfort, getting into the end zone yet again. First time in the second half.
All right, Slasher gets the ball back after coming off and throwing an interception. After getting the first down, Slasher throws a BG on the sideline, caught but out of bounds. 3rd down, Slasher is blitzed by Mach, just misses the tag. Slasher throws the BG in the gap for a decent game. Mach has to make this sack. I know it's wet outside, but Mach is a reigning defensive player of the year. He has to make this tag, and he misses it, and Slasher gets to 3G. 4th and goal, Slasher finds Sherm wide open in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. Nick gets the extra point. 21-20. Untouchables. If you look here, Macho and Shady are both guarding PJ, which leaves Sherm wide open. You cannot leave Sherm, aka Tyreek Hill, open. And Slasher finds him. 21-20. Untouchables take the lead back.
That was a horrible defensive stance right there because, like you said, left them wide open. Mach ran with the guy who ran behind him, and they just watched Sherm run across and score.
And this is the thing, yo, Lou. I've been saying for years, you do not run. You don't lock up on man. You don't lock up on a man in a goal line defense because all you're doing is you're giving another receiver a gap to run in. So all you got to do is stay in the front, take away the gaps, and force them to throw over the top. But because they're following one guy, it left Sherman by himself in the end zone. That was probably the easiest touchdown that any
ever
team
scored
all day. And that's one thing that no quarterback is going to make a mistake on. That is unfortunate for the defense that gave up such an easy play like that.
Adi gets the ball back. On second down, Adi on forward rush is sacked by PJ. Big sack there. After getting the first down, Adi with blocking from B-Dot, throws a cabbie in the gap, knocked away by Radio. Next play, Adi with 2 short passes for a decent gain. That's going to take us to 4th down. 4th down, Adi throws to Wesley in the front of the end zone. Wesley jumps with one hand, drops the ball, picked off by Nick. Untouchables getting the ball back. Wesley has to make this catch. He goes up with one hand, goes. Lou, what happened on this?
I mean, it looked like he thought that the pass was too high. I don't know if it was too high, because when I say wingspan is the name of the game for Wesley. That's one thing he definitely has. This man is able to reach for ball for the football. And the thing about it is, I don't understand why he was trying to grab that with one hand. If he went up with both, that's an easy touchdown. So yes, some receivers complain that the pass is high, but I think that this was easy enough for Wesley to snag in the air. But the fact that he went up with one hand, he doesn't pick it up, that led to an easy interception by Nick. And that's points that was on the table that you leave, that's given to the opposite team that's going the other way. This was the opportunity to get the lead. Lou, did you see that? Are you looking at the play? Like,
I'm trying. You know what it is? I'm out of focus because of the rain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But when I saw him go up, it looked like he had the ball, but he jumped with one hand. But I don't know what reason. The ball wasn't that high that he couldn't reach it. So at the end of the day, you go up with both hands, and worst case scenario, you knock the ball down. It's 4th down anyway, so it would have been a turnover, but you got to come down for that with that ball. It wasn't perfectly thrown. It's raining, but you got to come down with this ball. He doesn't do that, and it leads to interception. Regardless of what's still a turnover.
All right, Slasher gets the ball. He's going to throw the Sherm open in the gap for a decent game. 3rd down, Slasher is blitzed by Dev. Runs in the gap for a nice game. This cannot happen. They missed him on a sack the first time, and now they blitz and miss him, and he gets a big gain on a run. They need to stop the 1st down. 4th down at the 47, Slasher throws a BG short in the gap, getting the 1st down. End of the game. Untouchables come away with the win, 21-20.
This is a game that I would say Rep City gave up a lot of opportunities, especially on defense. You know, those extra points that they gave up, and extra points is going to be a topic that we're going to get to in a second. But extra points is what they gave up. You know, obviously a lot of touchdown plays that they gave up. There's a lot of things on defense that they got to work on. And this is funny that we're saying that with the team that had a former #1 defense, and we're telling them they have to work on their defense. Something is up if that's the case. So, you know, did they improve on their offense? Yes. Did Adi make some mistakes? Also, yes. You know, so he wasn't perfect, but he got the job done in terms of scoring 3 touchdowns this game. So I'm not going to kill him and say, oh, he got to do more, he messed up or whatever. No, he put them in a position to win the game, and they dropped the ball multiple times. So that's unfortunate for that team there. But their defense kind of gave it away with a lot of bad plays that they had on defense. Lock up on 1 or 2 plays, there's a completely different game. And that's how I'm going to leave it there.
And I would agree. If the bigger thing was the defense, really. And, you know, you could say it's a new season, but if I'm not mistaken, these dudes basically play with each other all over.
Yes.
Right.
So there's no real excuse at the end of the day. Yeah, maybe in the second half because of the rain, but game was basically in the bag by then.
In all honesty, the rain should actually help your defense. So at the end of the day, when it becomes a rainy, muddy, whatever, it becomes a defensive game overall. The offenses are going to struggle. So you got to make sure that you lock up, and you got to play the best defensive scenarios that you possibly can, especially in goal line. I think that in goal line, they kind of gave away a lot of plays, and I think that's something that definitely have to work on, because that was where they gave up most points, in my opinion.
All right. First, I'm going to get into an issue, and then you guys can talk about it, and I'll break down the game and what I thought. If you look at the beginning of the game, there was a little issue. And I'm not going to make any excuses. The weather was bad. It was first week. Everything was going on. Rep City went for 2. If you see here. And it was marked down as 1. Don't know what happened. It was my mistake. I'm not going to put no other official on it. I will take the complete responsibility. They went 2. I put down 1. Later on in the game, I think by halftime, or by the second drive, we figured out it was wrong. We tried to look into the camera to get it right, but because of the position Ghost was in, we couldn't tell. We're going to improve on that we'd be able to know where the ball was. But that was on me. I wanted to make sure I said it. Me and B Dot got into it, heated argument on the field because it's something in my football career I've never messed up on the score. Um, and I didn't know how to handle that. I didn't know how to fix it. I wasn't sure. I know I had one. I asked another official. He had one, and because he had one, I thought that I was right, and I ended up being wrong. I'm one to always point out my issues, and would we have even talked about it? No. Do I feel it impact the game? No. But that is a mistake an official can't make. Two mistakes an official can never make is the wrong score and the wrong down. Those are two inexcusable mistakes. B Dot called me. I spoke to him. We had a conversation. We both apologized for arguing. I called him today. And once we went over the video and we saw the error, Ghost got on me about the error. And I think Ghost's words was important. It wasn't the mistake, and this is my brother. It's not the mistake he was upset about me making, because everybody makes mistakes. His argument with me is I take on too much responsibility and I try to handle everything. And that's what caused me to make this mistake. And I'm apologizing on behalf of the UFL League. I'm apologizing as far as the rest staff. I'm apologizing as far as myself. I got to get better. That can't happen, regardless if I feel that that extra point impacted the game or not. At the end of the day, it was a mistake that cannot be made. And I wanted to publicize it and admit my flaws, my mistakes. I'm not perfect, but if in order to be better, you have to accept your failures. And I made a mistake on that play. And Lou and Ghost, I'll let you comment and then I'll break down my thoughts of the game.
Well, like I said, when you hit me up about it, I looked from my camera angle. All I saw was where the ref was, which was Eddie, and that's why I thought it was that they went for one. But the bigger thing is the fact that you're able to admit it, that you were wrong. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people can't admit that they're wrong, and then you doing it publicly and resolving that with B Dot, that shows a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because again, the one thing no one can say is that you don't try to be the best ref that you can be. Sometimes you may do too much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it's in your nature to let certain things go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, but you're going to have to learn.
And
you know,
and obviously I'm the one that always pushes him to, not hide anything, because that's not something that we're about. We had, people criticize a lot of things that we do and, certain mistakes that we make or whatever. And obviously, whenever any of us makes a mistake, we put it out there. Whenever anything is done on the field that's an error, we always show it. We never deny it, and whatnot. But and obviously you got to hold your integrity in place by admitting your mistakes, because if you can't do that and people know that you made something you did something wrong, how can they trust you later on?
Right.
How can they trust you anything moving forward? So I get that. But with all of that said, I'm going to get into a couple of things. Now, when they scored, listen, my thing is we already broke down the game. We already broke down, what happened in the game. Now, yes, it's funny that B Dot said that, they may end up losing by one, and that's exactly what happened. But we gave up we showed the fact that anytime Slasher and this UTB team scored, it was what that gave up the extra points? It was the defense. It was who that gave up the touchdowns? It was the defense. So nobody's gonna talk and say, hey, maybe we're gonna lose by one from something that happened in the first half. At the end of the game, oh, maybe that's going to come back to us. Maybe look at the things that happened in the game since then, But at the end of the day, listen, I already broke down why Rep City lost this game. Yes, could they have used that point in the game? Sure. But best case scenario, this game would have ended in a tie rather than a loss. But in games like this, in leagues like this, a tie is a loss. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really make much difference, but at the end of the day, I respect that you're being honest about the mistake, and more of that is needed overall, in my opinion.
So now that I made that comment, now I could go back into Stephen J. Remember, it wasn't Stephen J. that made the mistake. So don't blame me. It's that trash ref Jay Brown that made that mistake, not Stephen J. All right. I just was speaking because I have that multiple personality issue. And right now, Stephen J. is taking over what was that movie?
Dibble?
The movie with this guy where he had multiple personalities. Glass, remember? The movie Glass. That was the
Yeah.
third one.
Yeah.
Invincible or Unbreakable. Unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
Remember the
Yeah.
horde and all
Mhm.
that? That's me. So I got different personalities. So yell at Jay Brown, the ref, not Stephen J. Because Stephen J. don't.
How about stay on your meds so that won't happen anymore?
Stephen J. don't make mistakes. All right. Now let's get to the game. Rep City. I was impressed. Why was I impressed? Because they scored 20 points. It took Tommy in his sixth. Wait, let me make sure I say this right because I got the stats here. Rep City scored over 20 points 3 times, right? In 8 games. Tommy did it once. And Tommy did it in the 6th game. Adi did it in his first. Gronk threw it one, and Dave threw another. Tommy threw one game where he scored over 20 points, 20 or more points once. So in 8 games, it's 8 games, right? If you with me, guys, it's 8 games. Let me show you. I think it's 8 games. Gronk and Dave threw 2 of them. That is 6 games. Tommy threw over 20 points once. Adi did it in his first try. That is an upgrade. That's number 1. Number 2, B-Dot gave Adi time. Number 3, Adi got comfortable with Shady early and Cabby. That's the weapons. This team is dangerous. My issue with them, defensively, you're the number 1 defense in the league. Last year, you gave up 13.2 points per game. This game, you gave up 21. Too many points. You made too many mistakes where you gave things away. Wesley has to make that catch for his quarterback. There's no excuse to go up with one hand. Next play. Adi throws a bad interception where he underthrew against a guy that knows how he runs his routes. Mm-hmm. So those are mistakes. Once again, on the defense, they allow Slasher, who hasn't thrown in this league in a few years, come back in this league and put up 20 points and was going downfield. Went downfield to PJ, went downfield to Sherm, throwing things against Rep City that they did not allow last year. So when you add everything up, those are the issues that you make. Now, yes, we can sit down and talk about the extra point, and it's never an excuse for that. That did not cost them the game. Their defense cost them the game. They cannot stop this team. And that is the issue. That they threw with their backup quarterback, and he put up 21 points a game. You know how much the Untouchables scored last year? 22.5. This game, they scored 21. That's pretty much their average. They were the number 2 scoring team. So they still came with the same intensity they came regardless of who's throwing. You can't allow that if you're Rep City. And that's the mistakes they made on that side. Now, on Untouchables, this defense is still bad. They have not gotten any better. Last year, they gave up 21.8 points a game. They were the 2nd worst defense in the league. They gave up 20 this game. Oh, hey, it's only 20 points. So we gave up a 0.8 less than our average. That is still bad. You have to make stops. Now, they did make 2 stops, but one of those was a dropped interception. They have to get better. Now, they were tied for first in interceptions, so they make interceptions. But those risk it or biscuit plays that they give up is what gets them beat. And that's what happened. What I think that they need to do, Untouchables, is pull that trade. I may bring in I'm bringing in Sal, who brings Femi to help this defense. And I'm trading Corey because Slash is hot and he showed you that you can do it. You got to do it before the trade deadline. You don't want to be stuck with Corey if he can't throw. And Corey's healthy enough to throw because he's throwing in City Island.
Not only that, he threw this weekend.
He just threw this weekend. So don't give me a health thing. He can throw. He wants to throw. So now it's their time to trade, especially when UTF is in trouble with Henry being out. They need Corey more now than ever before they fall back in that division and Rep City, who got a new quarterback, Monarchs, who's better, and maybe Street Fam, who we saw is a new team, get it together, or don't sleep, turn it around. So now is the time to do the trade if you're going to do, if the rumor is true. Now, Ghost, you were saying something about how Raiders had the #1 defense, and you made a point about that, and they traded in their offense to get the #1 defense, and their defense suffered. That's not what happened. They lost Tanner and Ice. That's what dropped their defense dramatically down.
Yeah.
Well, on this Untouchables team, Sal helped their defense get better on the Raiders, even though they was not a great defense. They was not. They was 7th. But he made the All-Star team. He made plays. So I think Sal is the guy that you can bring in to Untouchables. Sal, who played with Carver, which means he played with Alvaro, is the easiest guy to fit right into the system. Femi also played with Carver, who also played with Alvaro. It's easy to fit them right into the system. They're not rah-rah guys. They're guys that can fit right in. And if you're going to do the trade, you pull the trade. That's what I'm doing. That's the rumor I heard. Will it go down? I don't know, because it's hard for me to, even though Slash is a good quarterback, Corey's a former league MVP.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to make it understandable to trade Corey. But Alvaro's a loyal guy. He already drafted BG. He traded for Slasher. Why would he not want to bring in another former teammate and give his guy Slasher the opportunity to throw? He just showed you he could do it.
Yeah.
He showed you. You know my saying, Lou? You know my saying, Ghost? When you have 2 quarterbacks, you really have none.
None, yeah. Well, you know what, Jay? I think that trade makes sense because you bring Sal and Femi, who are more there's a problem with Untouchables to me defensively. Outside of Alvaro, you got receivers, you got offensive-minded players playing defense. You know what I'm saying? That if they play college ball, they ain't play defense. You know what I'm saying? So they're going more on athleticism. Sal and Femi are dudes that play defense and are also offensive players. They've been playing defense longer. So it would help them defensively.
And Lou, you got to put this year, last year. You may not get these players back.
Right.
Put all your chips in the middle of the table and say, let's go for it. That's just me. That's what I'm thinking. What's your thoughts, Ghost, before we wrap this one up?
Listen, I like the energy on that Untouchables team, especially on offense.
Yeah.
You would think that, they lost their quarterback that was trying to, beat Chuck for the top in touchdowns in history and all of that in the season. But you have Slasher, who has his own swag, his own energy, and it doesn't seem like their offense suffered so much, at least in week 1. So you can have confidence that their team is still going to score. Their defense is still an issue, and that's always going to be an issue until they fix these problems. They have the talent to do so. They just don't have the right game plan to get it all together. Will that whole rumored trade thing with Sal help? I don't know. Because if you do not have a defensive strategy, Sal can't guard 6 guys by himself. So
True.
At the end of the day, it's not going to matter if they don't fix the strategy that's going into the defense. That has to happen. So until they do that, they're still going to have the same problems regardless of who you add to this team. And just quickly on Rep City, listen, I like that they improved their offense. That's great. That's much needed. But they can't allow their defense to suffer when their offenses step up. They have to be as efficient, or at least mostly as efficient as they were last season, in order for them to improve the outcome of they had last season. They have to do that this season.
Especially adding Puto, Ivan, Dev. You can't.
And that's the thing.
up.
Listen,
Yeah.
they were first in sacks, and they added one of the best blitzers in the league in Puto. So that should make them that much more stronger. They shouldn't be easily giving up points the way that they did this game. So hopefully it's just a fluke. This is a one game that we could just forget out of our minds, and we could just move on to Rep City being a dynamic defense again. This is mainly maybe a bad dream. Hopefully it is, because if they continue this trend, they're going to be in trouble, because this is something that they did not have to deal with last season, that they're going to create more problems for themselves moving forward.
Okay, before we wrap it up, rapid fire real quick. Ghost, Lou, let's go. Primetime versus PME. Who you got? First game.
PME.
I got Lou for PME. Ghost, who you got?
I think I got PME.
All right. You got Ghost and Lou for PME. Next game, you got LES Monarchs.
Monarchs.
Lou got Monarchs.
I got Monarchs too, because I have no idea how LES is going to come out. We didn't see them the first game, so it's a question mark, and I'm going to go with the established Monarchs.
I saw Melvin play last week. That makes me even want to put the whole house on the Monarchs.
Wow.
DG versus Untouchables.
Oof.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna
DG,
put it on
DG.
Yeah, I got
touchdown.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy game for DG, because they got their own problems.
Yeah.
With that last game, you could tell his parents was not happy. He said on the field. But regardless of what, I think that they're gonna squeeze by, because UTB's defense is gonna be their Achilles heel that DG is gonna take advantage of.
And also, I don't think PJ can get past Shaq to put the pressure on Chuck.
All right, Street Fam, UTF.
Oh, Street Fam, all day cooking them, cook food.
Yeah, with the way.
Sorry, Mike.
Listen, with the way UTF looked this game, I don't know. It's going to be a long season for them. And with Street Fam showing signs, like more than signs of life, they're showing that they have some energy, some fire, and some confidence and swagger. I'm giving the game to Street Fam.
UTF versus Don't Sleep.
UTF got a doubleheader?
I'm sorry. Don't Sleep versus Rep City. My apologies.
Oh, Rep City crushing them.
Yeah.
Murder.
Rep City has too much on offense, too many offensive weapons that Don't Sleep with their issues is going to be able to handle so far.
Have an ambulance standing by.
Y'all pretty much agreed on overlap. All right, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank y'all guys for being here with us. First episode of Real Tough Talk. This will go up on Friday. We'll see y'all. Make sure y'all check the Stephen J Show on Friday. And I'm going to see y'all soon. On behalf of Real Tough Talk, I'm Stephen J, my partner Ghost, my partner Lou Shooter. We're going to see y'all guys next week. Make sure y'all check in to Stephen J Show.
Wow.
9 o'clock, 9:30. Quick plug.
There you go.
On Friday. I'll talk to y'all later. We out of here. Much love. Keep God first, and everything else will handle itself. We out of here.